Okay, so welcome again to our lecture video. This is the continuation of the things that we discussed last time. So we are already in the weaknesses in the Filipino character. Last time we talked about the strengths, no, of the Filipino character, and there are seven, I think, in the slides, but it is reflected there eight. No? So I stand corrected for there are only seven strengths. No? And we are in the series of Filipino characters. No? So this is a continuation to the topic that we discussed. No? So let's continue with this one. So what are those weaknesses of us Filipinos, and what are the things that we lack as a part of a smallest unit of the society, as a family, and how do we cope up with those weaknesses in the society. First weakness of the Filipino character is that we have this extreme personalism. What is this extreme personalism? We view the world in terms of our personal relationship. Everything that matters are personal, no? You are taking everything in such a way that you can be hurt, as a human being. When someone is telling you that you are this and that, no, you will automatically sometimes take it as a negative thing. Yet, in fact, the person is only saying a some compliment or words. No? Filipinos view the world in terms of personal relationship, no separation between an objective task and emotional involvement. So we are always dwelling with our emotions. No? We do not draw the line between our objective uh, thinking and emotional thinking, to the point that we sometimes hurt the feelings of others when we say these things. We do not have this sense of sensitivity, and we are only talking as if the things are only okay when someone hears those things. We tend to give personal interpretations to and actions. This is also a dangerous thing because sometimes people are only uh, getting what is good to hear, no, from other people. They neglect others opinion, which maybe can help the person personally, but for us Filipinos, we think of someone's intention to correct is a negative thing, no? Well, in fact, that things, those words will be able to build you as a human being, no? To make you a better person. But well, as a human being, as a Filipino character, no, we only filter those things, no, nga makapalipay sa aton, yung makasatisfy sa aton yung self, no. We automatically shut down or shun those words nga nga kalain pamatian for us, no. Things nga hindi nami sa aton nga dulonggan. There is, in fact, some basis for such interpretations, such as Filipinos are quite personal in criticism and praise. Especially, we Filipinos are, no, are very fond of being frank to other people. Not very frank, but there is a compliment with a mix of criticism and personal things. No, it's a mix of criticism and praise. So I think that's the weakness of the Filipinos. No? The way they say those things, the way they accept those things. No? So personalism is always manifested or also manifested in the necessity of the establishment of personal relationship before any business or work relation can be successful. So you must, no, establish those things. Extreme, sorry, this is the second one. Extreme family centeredness. No? So the second one is we have the sense of extreme family centeredness. Though we may view it as a strength, no, because we are always caring for our family, where there are weaknesses or disadvantages of that, no, in terms of we create this kind of loyalty towards our relatives, no, that will sometimes that is not good for a larger community because we only trying to cater what is good for our family circle and not for other people. And it is also manifested in the government. There are always political dynasty, no, uh, your relatives are only the one who will participate in this and that, no, or even in applying for a job, no. Well, of course, the person above will always recommend a family member other than the other people hindi kakilala, no? So that's how dangerous this extreme family centeredness are. So, amo na ginatawag nilang papakit-bakit, no? So, how about the others who have no um, relatives in there or friends, no, or family inside those those work, no? Hindi na sila kapangita sa obra. So, the unfairness of things are manifested in this kind of weakness that we have as a Filipino. Family centeredness result to a lack of concern for the common good and acts as a block to national consciousness. Well, um, if there are some political killings, extrajudicial killings, we do not care about this one because, well, primarily, uh, that is not our relative. We only act if one of our family members are involved in those things. But when the moment when we have no business in those things, well, we are very lax. No? We do not have this sense of concern for the common good or common people. No? Because, well, I have no business with them. I don't have any blood related relatives in there. No? Third one is a lack of discipline. This is very uh, common to us Filipinos. No? That's why we created those tales like Quantamad. No? We have this Ningas Kugon attitude, and we have this procrastination attitude. No, Filipinos' lack of discipline is manifested in a casual and relaxed attitude towards time and space, which manifested itself in lack of precision and compulsiveness, in poor time management and procrastination. We are very lax with our work to the point that eventually our work is already mountainous already. And that's the time that we will complain that we have a lot of work to do. But, well, in fact, you are very complacent about this. You are not doing any effort to make that gradually uh, finish those works. No? You are, or we Filipinos tend to have this cramming at the end of the deadlines. An aversion of the following strictly a set of procedures, and this result in lack of standardization and quality control. What will happen if you will rush those things, no, to the deadline? Well, you cannot think well. You will only be passing those meager works that you have submitted. There is no effort at all, no, because padali na lang siya, no. We are impatient and unable to delay gratification or reward, no, resulting in the use of shortcuts, in skirting the rules, palusot syndrome, and in foolhardiness. We have this, as I've said, no, Ningaskugon attitude. No? We are guilty of Ningaskugons, starting our projects with full enthusiasm and vigor and interest, but later on, makadulaan na tagana, no? Which will leave us without anything finished or accomplished at all at the end. The lack of discipline often results in efficient and wasteful work system, violation of rules leading to more serious transgressions, and casual work ethic leading to carelessness and lack of follow through. I think we are very much not in the same level of as of the Japanese people, because when we see the discipline of the Japanese people, they are always following the rules. But well, the Filipino people are sometimes the opposite of the Japanese. When there is a a sign that uh, there should not be here nor bawal umihi, and that's the exact spot when the people will actually uh, go into peeing. No? So it's a direct violation of of the things, no, na ara sa signage. Or bawal tumawid dito, well, people are simply jaywalking on the streets, no? But if we take a look at those discipline of the people in other countries, they are very good at it. So my question is, if the people outside the country or other people in other countries can do that, why does the Filipinos can do that? No? So let's start from changing ourselves into disciplining ourselves, no? And eventually people will get to know those disciplines by radiating those attitudes to other people. We have passive and we have the lack of initiative, no? Filipinos are generally passive and lacking in initiative. There is strong reliance on others, no? We are only uh, okay with those kind of leadership that is not good enough, but because we receive something from them, no, well, we are already giving our support already to them. Well, in fact, those leaderships are just mediocre, no? And it's not enough that we are relying only with those people, no? We must be a person who thinks critically and analyze things, no? And I think this is one of the weakness of us Filipinos. Sige na lang, no? Sige, siya na lang da, no? Okay lang man na, no? But in fact, it's not how it works. Filipinos tend to be complacent, and there are rarely is a sense of urgency about any problem. There's high of tolerance of inefficiency, poor service, and even violations of one basic rights. Yet we are very complacent about this. In many ways, it can be said that Filipinos is too patient and long suffering. Matiisin. Sometimes that is not good, no? Because you have to stand for what is right, no? and abolish evil. No? We are too easily resigned to one's fate. Filipinos are thus easily oppressed and exploited. This is very common to people who are fond with uh, people nga ara sa Mangarano, no? Because Mangarano sa, we are idolizing that person. But the life of that person who are very rich are not very good. So we are very easily oppressed and exploited. Fifth one is we have this colonial mentality. We are fond of the first world countries' products and attitudes, and we are little by little being colonized by those countries. No? Our sense of fashion, our sense of thinking, also behavior, sometimes are also influenced by other people or by other race, by other superior uh, nations. Filipinos have a colonial mentality which is made up of two dimensions. We have the first lack of patriotism and active awareness. We are uh, we are not very proud of how Filipinos behave. No, we are always comparing contrast to other people or other race. We only uh, think of what is lacking towards the government, and we are lacking patriotism and active awareness of those things by simply getting products of other people of other race than the products of the Philippines. That is manifested in those simple acts. We lack appreciation and love for the Philippines. The second is an actual preference for things foreign. No? So if we have local chocolate and imported chocolate, we always uh, prefer the imported ones rather than the local chocolate ones. No? Filipino culture is characterized by openness to the outside, adapting and incorporating the foreign elements into our image of ourselves, not built around the deep core of Philippine history and language. So we are very open already, especially today, that we accept the help of other people, other countries. Well, that's a good thing. However, uh, I hope the sense of patriotism and nationalism will not die because of we are very open to those those trades and businesses. I hope it will remain, no? It will be preserved, no? The result is cultural vagueness and weaknesses that makes Filipinos extraordinarily susceptible to the wholesale acceptance of the modern mass culture, which is often Western, by the way. We are not only Western, but also Chinese people are also little by little invading us. Even Koreans or other countries that are very popular today. Thus, there are preference for foreign fashion, entertainment, lifestyle, technology, consumer items, etc. The Filipino colonial mentality is manifested in the alienation of the elite from the roots and from the masses, as well as in the basics of feeling of national inferiority that makes it difficult for Filipinos to relate as equal to Westerners. The sixth weakness is we have this kanya-kanya syndrome. We have this utak talangka, and we have this crab mentality. No? Filipinos have a selfish or self-serving attitude that generates a feeling of envy and competitiveness towards others. When someone is in the top, we tend to pull it down so that we are at the same level, particularly one's peers who seem to have gained some status or prestige. Why not be happy to that person, no, who who achieved its goal in life? Please do not drag people in your level, no, because they simply uh, have a higher or gain some status and prestige. No? So do not be selfish about it. But well, this is very hard to change since Filipinos have this established already, even in earlier days and times. But I hope it will change little by little. The kanya-kanya syndrome is also evident in the personal ambition and the drive for power and status that is completely insensitive to the common good, personal and group interest reigns. The characteristic is also evident in the lack of sense of serving among people in the government and bureaucracy. The public is made to feel that service from these offices and from the civil servant is an extra perk that is to be paid. And lastly, we have this lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. We are only very complacent and very okay with those things nga gina-present sa aton, but we do not analyze the things and we have no self-reflection if it's beneficial or not, if it can create a good thing to your life or into societies. We do not think about it. As long as your family is okay, we can eat 3 times a day. That is okay. No, we have no sense of, well, uh, we have no self-analysis and self-reflection to the society. There is a tendency in the Filipinos to be superficial and even somewhat flighty in the face of serious problems with both personal and social. There is lack of analysis or reflection. Um, there is no seriousness in facing problems. No? We always joke about this. This is somehow a strength, but at the same time a weakness because we are not uh, providing any solution to those problems. We the only solution that we give is to joke about this and to smile about those things. No? We joke about most serious matters, and this prevents looking deeply into the problem. There is no felt need to validate our hypothesis and explanation of things. Thus, we are satisfied with superficial explanation and superficial solutions to the problem. As a result, again, um, bahala na kung ano lang na ano, amo na ang matabo, no? We tend to emphasize on form, no, rather than substance. Well, in fact, the form and substance must be equally distributed to be satisfied with theoretic into the substitute of the reality. As long as the right things are said, as long as the proper documents are reported exist, as long as the proper committees, task force offices are firm, Filipinos are deluded into believing that what ought to be actually exists. We do not search for more, we do not ask for more as long as there is things that are evidences, but not validated evidences or valid evidences. So that's the result, no, of of, of the the society nowadays. So there are 7 weaknesses and there are 7 strengths of us Filipinos. So I hope you learned something today. I think that's it for the characters of the Filipino people. So please visit the LMS. There is a seat work for you to answer. Thank you very much for listening.